All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to do my best to make this the shortest, quickest that this has ever been. Okay? And I definitely want to get some feedback on a couple things that I brought that we've actually mentioned in the group. But I just want to mention this. I finished Tales from the Loop, which I talked about last week. And basically the review I gave it last week played out through the entire season. Man, it is slow. It is so slow. Even the final episode, which was probably the most interesting episode to me, because it kind of wrapped a few things together at once. Man, it was still so slow. Like I said, they'll spend 15, 20 minutes, like I joked in this picture, of them walking up a street to get to where they're going while they talk about things that have nothing to do with the episode. But overall, it's not bad. And I didn't realize until this was over, too. But Jodie Foster directed these, which she actually directed another kind of a short story show from a while back, too, that I liked. It seems like she might be a sci-fi fan directing sci-fi shows and stuff. But this is still good, still very slow, though, so I don't give it a big recommend. And then I finished Stranger Things. Ty, did you watch all Stranger Things?
Yeah, I watched it all last night.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, I didn't.
No, he's not going to watch Stranger Things.
Oh, why?
I watched like 4 episodes of the first season probably a year ago.
Oh, and you couldn't get into it. That's right.
I didn't get into it, and yeah.
What's your status on Stranger Things, Pat?
We watched 4 and 5 last night. Getting there.
I think there's 8, right?
I think there were 8.
Wasn't there 8 and then 9, 10 or something?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
So I didn't really want to say anything that's really a big spoiler, but
Right.
I do have this to say, and it's similar to Tales from the Loop. Man, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if you might consider this a spoiler, Pat. Do you want to check out for a second?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
What can I do? I'll just mute.
What do you? Okay, yeah. Okay. So, Mike.
Yeah.
I feel like they really did. I'm going to call this. They Lord of the Rings me at the end of this. Like Return of the King.
Right.
And this is my reference. Is a great movie, but man, I felt like the last half hour could have been done in like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, it seemed like there were so many. Okay, here's the end. No. Okay, here's an end. Okay.
Exactly. And I told you how I felt about this prior to the final episode. It's spectacular. I love it. I think it's by far the second best season at the very least, but possibly, definitely competes for the best season with the first season, which the only reason I give the first season it's as the pinnacle is because it was totally original.
Yes.
But man, yeah, the last, like you said, this was like a movie long, and the last half hour it was just reunions and feel good moments and stuff. It just drug on for me.
Yeah.
Did you get that same feel?
A little bit, not a whole lot. Now that you're bringing it up, it kind of highlights it for me. But I was enjoying it so much, it probably could have gone another 15 minutes, and it wouldn't have mattered to me.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that's good to hear. For I'm sure other people listening, and the only other complaint I have is this is basically they should have called this season 4 part 1. Because this didn't actually come to any conclusion. They totally set us up for season 5 with what's his name still being alive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just gonna. You'd imagine. Obviously, tell me your perspective, but the way I envision it, it seems like season 5 is just going to be them fighting Vecna again, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you see how, do you agree it could have been season 4, part 1, like they broke up the Hunger Games, or whatever.
Yeah, I see that, but there's such a real world time gap between when this finished and when the next one starts. So that's why.
Oh, how do you know that?
No, I mean real world, like our world. We're not going to see part
Oh, for another year. Oh, yeah,
for another year.
Yeah, okay.
So at that point, if they were to call season 4 point 2, just the real world time gap is too great.
I think that's what they did with the Hunger Games, isn't it? And Twilight as well. They broke up the last.
They called them part 1 and part 2. Even the Harry Potter, I guess they did part 1.
Yeah, Harry Potter did the same thing too. Yeah, and they were a year apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead and say it. I'm right. Go ahead and say it.
Well, you're not wrong. That's another way to put it.
But anyway, overall, I still agree it was really good. It's just those couple little tidbitty nitpicky complaints I got. So anyway.
Yeah, and then when I shared that Bill Sienkiewicz drawing of Eddie, and then I completely forgot that you guys hadn't caught up. I was unaware that Tyler wasn't interested in the show.
Oh yeah, that's why Tyler was.
Yeah. Oh no, man, I just ruined it because that was such a great scene that I'm like, I think I ruined it.
Well, I didn't even think about it being Eddie Van Halen until Tyler mentioned that, so we thought it wasn't. It totally could be Eddie Van Halen too. Yeah.
Right.
That picture could cover either of those characters, or the one real man and the character, either one. Yeah. All right.
I didn't know if you actually knew about Stranger Things or were
me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've been watching it. Yeah.
Because we've never talked about it back and forth to each other.
Yeah, I watch a lot every week. You should check this show out. I cover it all. There's actually a segment called What Kevin Watched. You could just watch that.
I'm getting more and more convinced to try it again because it's all I see and hear about all freaking day if I open any sort of social media. But I'm trying to finish Daredevil. I'm trying to get to Punisher. I mean, there's still so much.
All right, let's get Patrick back in here. All right, Patrick, you back?
I'm back.
I was wondering how are we gonna cue him in that he can come back in.
Well, it's kind of like you did when you checked out. Just when the next picture goes up, which Tyler just mentioned something at the end of that there, Patrick, that I wanted you to be here for us to comment on. Did you all see the latest SheHulk trailer?
Yes.
No, I didn't know. I was not aware.
Did you see it, Ty?
No, because I don't watch trailers.
Oh man, now I can't talk about it. Damn it.
I mean, you can talk about a trailer.
Yeah.
Well, there's an exciting moment in the trailer based on something you just mentioned.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's why I don't watch trailers. I don't want to be, because trailers spoil an unnecessary amount of things.
Yeah, they do.
All right, let me just say this, Patrick. How about what happened at the end of it? That was pretty cool, right?
It was.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Can't wait to watch it now.
Well, it's kind of, given the announcements from San Diego Comic-Con, it's not that much of a stretch. It's not. I mean, they've announced something
that you should have known. Well, there was. Is that what you mean? Is that you could have known what they showed anyway? Basically.
Well, that there's definite plans for somebody.
Yeah, but the key thing that I thought was super cool. Well, I'm a little bit. I'm cautiously optimistic. I thought it was super cool, but we'll see. Was the coloring that was what was right? Yeah.
Well,
so anyway,
I have to defend myself because I usually count on New York Mike to post trailers because that was his thing.
That is
if
true.
There's a trailer, I can count on him to share it to our page. So
yeah, he pops in and pops out. He's not really consistent. It seems like he's going to be consistent, and then he'll disappear again for 6 months.
Yeah, of all the times for him to be inconsistent when there's a new SheHulk trailer.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of stuff popping this week.
Yeah, with all the San Diego Comics.
San Diego. So all the more reason for him to be on top of his game.
Well, I guess we'll talk about that next week. The SheHulk trailer, the Shazam trailer. Did you see that, Pat?
Yes, I did.
And then there was one more.
Wakanda Forever.
Oh, yeah, Wakanda Forever. Yeah.
I just saw that was out today. I didn't see it.
which I don't know about that Shazam. We'll talk about that. But the other two looked great. Looked pretty good. Yeah, I liked them. So anyway, okay. Now to the next thing I watched. In typical movie you never heard of fashion, Zone 414. Is anybody familiar with this?
No.
No. Not at
Okay.
all.
This has Guy Pearce, and there's some other big actor in here we know. But anyway, this is another Amazon movie that was recommended to me based on all the other craziness I watch. I like Guy Pearce. This movie, I can explain this with two other movies combined will make this movie, and they are Escape from New York and Blade Runner. This is literally, like I said, adding those two movies together, you get this movie. He is like an old has-been cop. This takes place in the future when robots are like just totally, really perfect, humanoid looking. They just look like people. And basically, there's a part of the country that this one guy owns all of them. I can't remember the name of the part of the country, but that doesn't really matter. And only rich people can go there. And since they're robots, of course, they can do whatever craziness they want with these without any kind of, repercussions or, suffer any consequences. And the creator of this land of robots has a daughter that she's got herself mixed up with some bad people that are in Zone 4. No, I said I can't remember the name of this area. It's Zone 414. The name of this area is Zone 414. But his daughter gets herself mixed up with some bad people that are in Zone 414. So he hires Guy Pearce to go rescue her. And, of course, the adventure ensues, And like I said, it's very Escape from New York-y. I think that's exactly what happened in Escape from New York, right? It was the president, and he had to go get the president's daughter out of the part of New York that was basically just a prison colony at this point.
I thought he was getting the president out.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was Escape from L.A. that he was getting the daughter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I never watched Escape from L.A.
It's pretty good in its way, in its way, key.
I remember one scene. I think he was riding this big tidal wave, and I was like,
Yeah.
No, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, he was riding the tidal wave. All right, so then to get to more topical, I got out to see this weekend.
Nice.
Did anybody see Jurassic World Dominion?
No.
Not yet, but we really want to see it.
Tyler? You don't really get to the movies either, do you, Ty?
No, and I've obviously watched all the original Jurassic Parks, but none of the new ones have intrigued me enough to go watch it.
All right, well, first thing I have to say about this, does anybody really care about me saying too much or anything?
No, I know I'm going to enjoy it no matter what you say.
Okay.
You can tell me what happens from beginning to end.
Okay, we don't have that much time. But first of all, I would definitely recommend you see the first two subsequent later Jurassic Parks. What are they, just Jurassic World, and then what's the second one? Jurassic World? I forget the subtext or whatever. Yeah. But both of those Jurassic Worlds before you see this one, to really enjoy this one. Now, this was good. I give it a solid 8, 8.5. But I feel like without some of the context from the other Jurassic Worlds, it's not good enough standalone to really be able to appreciate all that. And then also, to boot, you really have to have a history with Jurassic Park. But as far as having a history with Jurassic Park, all you really need is the first one. You don't need there was a trilogy for the first Jurassic Park as well. But all you need is the first Jurassic Park, and then Jurassic World Part 1, Jurassic World Part 2, and then you're set up for how you'll be able to enjoy this thoroughly and in its entirety for this one. Everybody from the original Jurassic Park is in this. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, it's in the poster.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm right now, but did you guys know that before today? Right now? Okay.
In the trailer.
Yeah.
But Ty doesn't watch trailers.
Right. Did you know that, Tyler, since you don't watch trailers?
No.
Yeah, well, now you know. There you go. Jeff Goldblum, and then the other two. I can't remember their names right now. And I will say they look great for their age. Man, they held up nicely, in my opinion, and they pretty much acted the characters pretty much spot on to the original Jurassic Parks. And this plays a lot of scenes that almost are intentionally kind of recreated from original Jurassic Park in Jurassic World. It's pretty cool. And just to give you in general how this one's play out, you may have figured it out from the trailers, but now that kind of dinosaurs are a part of modern day now, you got all kinds of problems. You got poachers trying to get them. You got some people trying to keep them as pets, and people trying to sell, dinosaur eggs and dinosaurs on the black market. Just kind of all kinds of modern problems with what would be if dinosaurs actually existed. And the problem with this one specifically that all of the awesome cast of characters we're familiar with are doing in this movie is there's this one guy that has a sanctuary where he tries to get as many dinosaurs as he can to this sanctuary, but ends up he's not doing, good things with them, meaning, not, his morality is in question as far as his intentions of what he's doing with these animals.
Right.
So of course, all of our friends of all the different movies go in there to originally kind of naively, again, help and be good stewards to dinosaurs. But it falls apart, as you can imagine. But yeah, me and Jesse like this a lot. Jesse cried like 3 or 4 times. And we both really appreciated all of the throwback nods in this movie a lot. So
We're good.
Like I said, 8.5. Definitely recommend checking that one out. And I think it's just about out of theaters too. There was only 4 showings on Saturday. We had to, I had to actually choose between Maverick and this. I want to go see Maverick next week, but they're both on their way out. Doesn't seem like there's many showings left.
Yeah.
I'm going to get caught up here, though, to be able to see movies when they first come out first weekend here soon, though. I'm getting the AMC pass where you can see 3 movies a week for whatever, all that stuff, So that's my plan. And then I just want to talk about a couple trailers. First thing is Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. I think this was another trailer they announced at San Diego Comic-Con too, right, Pat? Did you see this one?
I did not see this one.
This has Chris Pine as the main character. And
I'm automatically interested.
Yeah. And, I've been waiting, and I'm sure lots of people have. I'm not a huge it's so funny. I don't consider myself a huge Dungeons & Dragons fan, while I'll call myself a huge Dungeons & Dragons fan all the time. And what I mean by that, I'm not a big fan of the game, but anything outside of the game, we just talked about them being part of the Magic theme right now. Anywhere else outside of the game, I see Dungeons & Dragons kind of implanted, I'm in. I love Dungeons & Dragons stuff, and there's been a couple. I didn't even realize there was actually a new Dungeons & Dragons movie out in 2021, and this is coming out in 2023. So man, they're cranking them out pretty fast now. And there was an old one back in the early 2000s that was atrocious. That was a horrible Dungeons & Dragons. But this trailer looks kind of more up to date, high speed. Good special effects, and obviously with a high profile actor like Chris Pine, I'm really hoping for this one to be the best of the bunch. But the only thing I didn't like about this trailer was Chris Pine is actually the bard. He's not like he's like the main guy, but he's a bard, just the guy that plays music and sings or whatever. From the trailer, maybe kind of they're tricking us or whatever, but he's not the big swashbuckling, sword wielding tough guy. So I don't know what they're doing with that, but anyway, it definitely looks interesting. I definitely recommend checking out the trailer. And then I want to talk about this trailer, The Monsters by Rob Zombie, right? Obviously, I know everybody saw this trailer already, right? We talked about this in the group. and you guys both hated it, right?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
I wouldn't go so far as to say I hated it, but I was curious to see which direction he was going to go, and it seems like he's just embracing the tone of the sitcom.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't know. And obviously, I don't know if it was always the decision to go to Netflix or it was based on the lackluster reception it got that it moved to Netflix.
Yeah, I was looking through the history of that. Yeah, and I saw they didn't announce it was going to be released. It's going to be in September, I think, right? It's coming out in September on Netflix. But they didn't announce that was happening until like last month. So yeah, it seemed like it must have been something different prior to a month ago, right?
Yeah, that's the way I took it because I saw that news after I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
And I was not happy with the trailer. So I thought, oh, geez, this is just straight to video, you know?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting what you just said too, Pat. So you're a Monsters fan kind of in general. Is that you consider yourself a Monsters fan?
Yeah.
Well, with it taking the tone of the show, why does that seem a little like you might not be in for that?
Just because I was hoping for like an updated take, you know.
Okay. You know, we obviously mentioned Batman and Robin a lot, and when I mention Batman and Robin, I always use the disclaimer that the reason I think I enjoy that movie and no one else does is because I watch it in the same vein as I watch Batman 66, which is obviously a big mockery of a lot of things that's not to be taken seriously, and that's how I watch Batman and Robin. That's why I don't mind it. So I think it's interesting you're saying that you were looking for a fresh take, but I do have one complaint with it, and it's not really a complaint, but my concern with this is the color. That seems like I wish it were at least toned down. Like if obviously it's going to be in color, which is fine, but it seems like bright, vibrant colors everywhere, right?
Yeah, and Tom on the group even mentioned, just something odd about the monsters in color.
Right. So I was thinking color would be good, but yeah, if it were just, what's the word I'm looking for? Lower,
more muted colors.
Muted colors, yeah, something like that. But I'm gonna predict right now that I'm actually gonna like this.
I'm definitely gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah, especially since it's on Netflix. Why not, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see, because there was a couple moments during the trailer that got a good chuckle out of me. So we'll see.
Was it the sound effects when the woman was fainting?
No. I don't even recall that specifically, so I know that wasn't it. The end I thought was kind of some of my favorite older Munsters episodes are when they kind of left their house, when they got out, and were in places, or maybe those were movies. Did they do monster movies subsequently too? Yeah, where they kind of went to the beach or whatever, stuff like that, right? Yeah. But anyway, we'll see. I just want to mention that now, though.
Go ahead, Pat.
I was going to say, in the casting, I think Mike, maybe you mentioned this too, is the casting of Herman. It just doesn't seem to work, but I don't mind Lily and Grandpa. They both.
Yeah, they both look perfect. Grandpa looks identical, right?
Well, no mustache on the original, but I think it works.
Okay.
I think it works here.
Yeah, I think I can get behind those two, but yeah, Herman just and it, it's hard to replace, or even Fred Gwynn's voice, which is so synonymous with Herman. Even other movies that I've watched with Fred Gwynn, it's like, oh, I see Herman Munster.
Has Rob Zombie ever done a straight up like comedy like this before?
No,
I don't think so.
No. It would be interesting to see this in black and white as well. That'd be cool if they released both versions.
Oh yeah, that might be cool. Yeah.
Frank Darabont did that with The Mist. And watching it in black and white, The Mist it's like a whole other movie. I actually prefer it in black and white.
So do I.
A little more intense and yeah, really, really good.
Yeah. But there you go. That's I actually watched we watched all the Downton Abbeys again. That's totally my wife's thing, and I can't remember what else. There's something else I watched, but it wasn't geek related. This is all I got geek related watch stuff this week. So anyway, that'll do it for me.
Yeah, we watched Downton Abbey. I don't think we fit. I didn't finish it. Emily might have, and I was enjoying it. It was a good show.
Downton Abbey is a great show, definitely. It's just, just not what my go to when I have options for sure.
Well, last night Marcus and I watched Clue, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you love that. You love that movie. What's that other one you love a lot? No, maybe the Clue is the one I'm thinking about. I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for you telling me about it, which definitely is funny. So, all right, are you ready, Mike?
I will say real quick, we went and saw Love and Thunder this week.
Oh, cool. And
I would say, out of 10, I'd probably say like a 7.5. I didn't like it as much as Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I kind of, I probably shouldn't have listened to what you said at all, Kevin, because it kind of like influenced the way I was watching it, I think. Kind of what I was looking for, because I didn't feel like Thor was emasculated or in any way. I thought,
really?
And as a matter of fact, I thought he started out sort of on a swing back to the more arrogant Thor, but you could say that he was sort of covering for how he was actually feeling. I mean, but there's nitpicky things I didn't like. I thought it was a little choppy. I thought they got from A to B to C to A to B just too fast. And I really think they could have divided it into two movies, one dealing with Jane Foster Thor and one dealing with Gore. I didn't think they needed to shove them all together in one movie because there was just too much to cover. But I also didn't like how Mjolnir could shatter apart and come back together. I didn't.
Yeah, that was different. Yeah, I didn't mention that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most of the humor I thought worked. Chelsea thought I was a little bit too much. Didn't really bother me.
What did you think of the goats?
They were fine. They weren't as prevalent. Listening to you, I thought they were going to be on screen constantly, but they really weren't that. They were on the screen that much.
Yeah, I guess I should have toned that down because they weren't. And maybe that's why I thought they were funny every time because it wasn't. They were only on there like 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay.
I think my watching experience was influenced by the public as well, because I've just heard so many bad things about it, and I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
That's what I said too. If you watched my review last week, Ty, I don't think it was near as bad as the hate it was getting. I gave it a decent review. Yeah.
And again, it's fine for kids. You just see. In fact, so we went with my my mom and Chelsea. That was like their favorite part.
Yeah.
And, but there's just that, and then there's maybe if you're a little bit of Korg baby making talk might be a little too much, but yeah, other than that, it's fine.
I think the problem with the general public is they relate what they're watching too much to the best of that version. So because it wasn't as good as Ragnarok, the movie sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
Because but by no means a perfect movie, but I enjoyed, pretty much the whole movie, and I couldn't find any massive complaints. But yeah, it wasn't good as Ragnarok. But that's just my guess as to why it got so much hate is because it's not getting better each time.
Yeah, I think people go to things looking for reasons to dislike it.
Yeah,
right.
And it's gonna be hard to beat Ragnarok. I mean, that's probably my favorite Marvel movie, the one that I would go to.
Yeah, I agree.
I started thinking about Guardians too. I really like those.
Yeah, I've obviously watched all of them.
Makes me sad. Ayla says the same things. Makes me sad when I hear that.
What?
That Ragnarok's the best MCU movie. It's a great movie, but it isn't by any stretch the best MCU movie to me.
We need to save this conversation from.
I think it's the most entertaining.
Endgame is redonkulous.
I agree. I think that's what I was saying. I was going to subcategorize. I think Endgame is the best movie.
If you're looking for comedy, if you're looking for comedy, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and Ragnarok are the top.
Right.
But if you're looking for a good, semi-serious with comedic interjections, Infinity War and Endgame are just spectacular, and Civil War spectacular to me.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I find myself going to Ragnarok more often than the other one. I don't know.
I find myself going to Civil War the most, even though I like Endgame better than Civil War.
Well, more comedic movies in general are more rewatchable than
That's
serious
true too.
movies.
Yeah. You have to have a good gap in between a little bit more serious movies to really appreciate them again. Yeah. So.
Right.
All right, I need to come up with something like that because I brought back Tales from the Loop and I brought back Stranger Things for me because I finished them. But it sounds like I need to make sure whenever y'all haven't watched Thor, but you obviously are going to, revisit that later as well, so we can all discuss it as a group as well. Because I'm glad you mentioned that, Pat, because I wasn't even thinking that. Hey, did anybody see Thor this weekend? Yeah. I'm glad that I'm. It's good to hear other people's opinions, especially you guys. So. All right, is that it then?
That's it.